I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason. What's happening, PM? Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, has returned to Hot Button Radio. Today is an incredible topic. We're going to get Veronica Conway on the line. I think it's an important topic that needs to be had. Oh, my God. Listen, let me tell you how this shit's about to go. We had this conversation with a couple of females, and yeah, we're good. Yeah, I can't hear my beats, though. Yeah. You could just play whatever beats you want, man. There we go. I'm there. I'm on fire right now. I'm sitting here and I'm contemplating because we have this looming conversation. There was a huge rally. Deal with me right now as I set up my gadgets to go live. Huge rally, right? Now, huge rally after the president becomes the president. Everybody knows right now, right? Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States of America. And there's really nothing anybody can do about it. But we could do symbolic things, right? We could do things like march. Let's march and, see what's going to go down with that. Let's get out here and march. Reality of it is, other than marching, what else can you do? So the women put together this huge march to protest Donald Trump's election. This is what I got to say about it. And it's ugly. How in the hell can a bunch of sisters support the white women in this march if the white women haven't stepped up and supported the sisters in all of the shit that they go through? Ugh, God, they got all these fancy words. Intersectionality. Female solidarity, right? And I just be asking, where was the solidarity when Sandra Bland was killed? I just want to know. Where was the solidarity when Sandra Bland was killed? Who's going to speak on that? Sisters will be like, yo, feminism and equality and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But if there is racism within the sisterhood, if white women go back to their mansions, their generational wealth, and you go back to your apartment building, are you really sisters in the struggle? Are white women your sisters when they need you to march? They need your shoes. They need your feet. They need your athleticism out there on the trail. Ah, that's ugly. I don't know. Am I wrong for talking like this? If you're just tuning in to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on Hot Button Radio-Radio, let me tell you what today's topic is. Stepsisters. What black women really think about the white woman's role in racism in America? The state of interracial relations between black and white women. Ooh. Ugh. 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. And this isn't new. It's always around 50%. White women side, right, with the Republican candidate. Don't you think it's somewhat hypocritical the next day to go out and do this huge national march? I mean, there were numbers. Hey, we got VC on the line. I'm setting up the show right now, V. Okay, we'll tell you to call. The engineer is saying, call in, VC. Call in. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. But that, to me, that's just crazy. White women typically vote Republican. They typically vote for, we've only had one black president, so they typically vote for the white man that's running for president. One of the two white men, typically the Republican one. Then we're going to go out and be like, don't grab our pussies. What? But you voted him in. Okay. I'm confused. What is racism's effect on the interracial sisterhood? What do black women really think about Becky? Because listen, I come from an era when if a black man is walking down the street with his beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Nordic, Scandinavian, Icelandic beauty, there's problems. Sisters be cutting eyes like, this Negro here, he gonna bring her to the Slauson swap meet? You got her down here at Venice Beach, my nigga? Hey, I'm just saying. A deeper look at what may be a facade of support between white and women of color. I've got questions. Even white men are coming to despise their women in the way that feminism was initiated by white women and has little relevance to black women. Does red pill manosphere sensibilities have little relevance to black men? Now, this is a question that was put together by Veronica Conway. Do white women answer to their conscience or to white male economic privilege? God damn, Veronica. Veronica creates these questions, or these particular ones that I'm reading right now. Listen, if you want to participate in the conversation, somebody call me. Please. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. That's 323-230-4610. Oh, God, do white women answer to their consciousness or to the white male economic privilege? That's crazy. When it came down to it, white women couldn't even remain in solidarity with a white female presidential candidate. Does the white woman have any allegiance to women of any race? Because sisters be feminine. I'm a feminist and I'm a this and I'm a 50-50. Who created feminism? Did a sister create it? No. What sisters did is what black people do. White man gave you the dirty, hippie version of Jesus, the Pal Gasol Jesus, Cesare Borgia, right? And then what black people did was we put Lowry salt and seasoning salt on it. We spiced it up, right? So we got black feminism born out of feminism. But who created feminism and what was the purpose? Ugh, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm listening. If you want to participate in the conversation, call us at 323-230-4610. I have one more question. Where was the white sisterhood when many white men and women disrespected the facial aesthetics of Michelle Obama? Didn't a white lady just get fired for calling Michelle Obama a monkey? Where's the sisterhood, love? Play that beat for me right now. Turn it up a little bit. We got VC on the line. Veronica Conway.
Yes, sir.
We talking about your stepsisters. What's up with your relationship with Becky? Do white women and black women have a difficult time relating to one another? Is there a disconnect? Are y'all sisters but got different mamas? You know how we she didn't come out of my mama. That ain't a whole sister. I'm just wondering, what's that relationship like? Do white women owe women of color an honest conversation about white privilege and racism?
Well, of course they do, but they've never historically had to do that. And understand that this election is a moratorium and a litmus test on white privilege, and that includes white women and how they view their white privilege. And so 53% of white women voted for Trump, and voting for Trump was not to defend economic interests or anything like that. It was to defend whiteness. And so there's never been, understand that white supremacy has been a thing that was created ostensibly to protect white women from being molested by black men, thus, not perpetuating the race. And so it goes back to the fear of white genetic annihilation, and white women are just as likely to perpetuate that and to maintain their privilege and to maintain their interests, and they will do that with their white men above and foremost before they have anything to do with their sisters.
Wow. Solidarity is a facade amongst black and white women. Is interracial sisterhood conditional? If so, what is it contingent upon? Do they use y'all when they need y'all? Now, you know we got to get Hillary in. Where my sisters at? Come on down here and do the Millie Wop with me, Hillary. I just need to know. Like, do they need y'all? I mean, do they use you guys? Do they seek solidarity? And I'm talking about white women in general. Do they seek solidarity when there's an agenda?
I don't even know if you would call it solidarity. I think that it's very conditional and it's very exploitive. And it's not to say that there are not, because to me, if white women wanted to practice allyship with black women, they would have to be willing to examine their own privilege. But most are not. And even if you look at the Million Women March that just happened after Trump's inauguration, there was a lot of beef that was happening in between factions because white women did not want to hear about what they call intersectionality.
Intersectionality.
They didn't want to hear about it. So
tell people about what that is, Veronica. Hip people.
It's the intersection. Yeah.
Hip people to what intersectionality is.
Yeah. So it's the intersection. So there's a lot of conversation in our community about are feminists really? Is feminism white? Is it black? Does it include the interests of a diverse pool of women, meaning where the intersections reside between blackness and femaleness and all of that? And so I just don't think that white women as a whole, I have met a few that have bothered to do sort of the inner work and to confront their own bias and to confront their own privilege, but very few are willing to do that. So they don't really have to consider any interest beyond their own because historically the category woman has historically meant white women here in this country. It doesn't mean black women. It doesn't mean brown women. It doesn't mean yellow women. It means white women. And And that's what they see, and that's what they want, and they want to maintain their privilege for the most part, with that identity. And that's what they're fighting for, and that's what Trump's election meant.
Wow.
That's what it meant.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, the voice of reason is crazy right now. We're talking about something that I think is rarely spoken about. Sisters, stepsisters in this case, right? Feminism is on the rise. Feminism is on the rise for a good reason. Equality. But if there's inequality within the sisterhood, shouldn't that be dealt with before they build an army to attack the evil patriarchy? Ah, shit. You telling me white women choose white privilege over solidarity with sisters of color when it's convenient for them? Veronica Conway, speak to that.
Absolutely. I mean, but haven't they always? I mean, isn't this whole country, understand that white supremacy is on the rise globally. Everywhere. We talked about this on Monday's show about how if you look at Russia and you look at Europe and you look at Brexit and you look at the surge of white supremacy and white nationalism globally, that it's on the move because it sees the not just because it's always 12% of the population have always controlled the other 88%, but now with immigration and with and because of media and social media, the narratives are changing. And so if there's one thing that white supremacy has used, it has been the idea of white superiority and white supremacy. And so if now that narrative is being interrupted by Black Lives Matter and by people identifying with Muslims and people identifying against racism and the advent of Obama, with people psychologically disagreeing with that, understand that the response to that is a concentrated, globalized movement to regain the narrative and to regain the militarized control of Black and brown people. If you look, I saw a thing where they talked about, they interviewed white women that voted for Trump, and some of them claimed that they had previously been Obama supporters, but almost inevitably, when they asked why they voted for Trump, they said because he's pro-cop, because he's pro-military, because he's so what is that really saying? It's saying that I was willing to overlook his racism, his misogyny, his grabbing him by the pussy, because he's pro-military, and we know that the militaristic prison industrial complex and all of that is the last defense between those people, those 88% of brown people all over the world, and our white asses.
So why
right?
what's killing me right now, Veronica? Please help me. Listen, if you want to participate in today's conversation, please call us at 323-230-4610. That's 323-230-4610. What's killing me right now, with all of this shit that you breaking down right now, why do sisters align themselves with this mentality? It's not that white women voted for Trump this time. White women typically, historically, have voted for the white guy, right? For the white Republican guy. Not necessarily just the white Democrat, but the white Republican guy. They hover around 50% for the white Republican guy. So my question is, this isn't anything new. It's not nothing different. So why do our sisters tend to align with white women who align with ideas and concepts that are really counterproductive for the African American community?
Well, I think a few things happened. I think that the mythology and the specter of a black family in the White House and all of the inroads that were made, just the visibility and the symbology of having blackness and brownness be represented, lulls us into a false sense of security that things are actually going our way. And that's one thing. I think that symbolism lulled. So that's why woeful maybe to sleep. That's why people are so surprised and confused at this backlash and sort of what Trump is demonstrating in his agenda, because we got this false sense of security to imagine that we weren't under assault by white supremacy. And they've been gathering their resources and gathering their, listen, I sometimes hang out on Stormfront and white nationalist sites just to see what the zeitgeist is. Understand that white nationalism is, and they're using white women, white nationalist women, this is out of their own mouth, in a campaign to soften the image of white nationalism globally. Because if they're trying to recruit white people into white nationalism, it's so much softer if it's not coming from all these brutish Nazi tattooed men. It's so much more palatable if it's coming from traditional, feminized white women. Like, that's an active thing that they're doing to recruit globally. I don't think we understand what we're up against. I don't think we understand the level of strategy. I don't think we understand the need to protect oneself from the perceived threat of genetic annihilation and the black dominant gene pool. That is a very real fear. They act on it all the time. They act on it in concert. And then we always end up surprised like it's news. Nah, they've been doing the same shit since we got here to this country.
But do we call sisters to the floor in the same way we called, say, Steve Harvey? You know, he's getting hella backlash because he did something that seemed to be hypocritical. He had been banging on, Donald Trump this whole time, right?
Right. Yep.
Then all of a sudden, well, the man is president now, so we gotta do business with him, right? We gotta work with him now. Yep. So with that said, now that we gotta work with him, my question to you is, should we call sisters to the floor in the same way we called Steve Harvey to the floor? Should we do that?
Yes, you can. And what you should also know is that if you look at the conversations and the battles that have gone on, even in the context of the white women's movement and that march on Washington, understand that a lot of sisters were inside of that movement pushing back on what they perceived as white female ignorance of intersectionality. And so a lot of them didn't attend the march. A lot of them came out and posted against them. So when people are on the front lines of this stuff, they are actually carrying the torch. They really are. It's documented. They've done. I mean,
who's carrying the torch? You saying sisters?
The sisters that are inside, right? That were inside and originally sort of invited to that movement. A lot of them had to push back on what they perceived as white female privilege that was operating without consideration of black and brown people, and they pushed back on that inside the movement.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. There's been this big backlash, right, where brothers blaming sisters for being fully integrated into a sick society, right? The big backlash between brothers and sisters, the disconnect between brothers and sisters. Sister, you so locked into this system, you're now starting to adopt some of the belief systems or some of the stereotypes that this system has about black men. And you're starting to judge your man based on the criteria of the system that we believe to be broken, right? So my question is, yes, we don't hear enough about the sisters banging on their stepsisters, the white women, because nobody wants to talk about the white woman's role in racism in America. So maybe the sisters you're talking about are not getting the publicity they deserve.
Right. The activists are.
But we need
absolutely are.
And I'm saying as black men, we need to know about the sisters that are banging on their stepsisters. We need to know about those secret conversations. What are sisters saying to white women? Hey, y'all got to stop disrespecting these young black boys in school, making them villains when they're 9. How about that? What is that conversation like?
Right. Well, I would say that happens in activism. And so I think that we have to all become activists now. There is no time to sit and wait and watch and wonder and hope and pray and react. It's actually time for everybody to do whatever their version, whatever their part is in activism. Because understand that in a way, we are sort of witnessing something that's really unprecedented in terms of this global march of white supremacy. But understand that it's a reaction, and it's a fearful reaction. And there's an opportunity for us in that if we stop being paralyzed and apathetic and start actually engaging in whatever part of the process that we're most committed to, whether it's reparations, whether it's voting stuff, whether it's black businesses. Like there's plenty of ample opportunity to engage, but we have to all be activists from our seat at this point. That's what time it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning into the Voice of Reason, I got to do a quick recap. If you just got here, yikes. Today's topic, stepsisters. What black women really think about the white woman's role in racism in America. The state of interracial relations between black and white women. How we gonna be feminists united against the evil empire of the patriarchy? Darth Trump, right? The leader of the patriarchy, the evil Sith Lord of monogamy, of misogyny. How can we be united in a fight against him when we're not all on the same page? Black women, their secret relationship with white women, a deeper look at what may be a facade of support between white and women of color. Where were the white women feminists at Little Rock when the government was spraying women and children with water, cold water during the winter? Where were they? Did you see them? Did you hear about them? Did you even see any black feminists out there saying, no, don't do that? I'm just wondering. I think it's all politics. It's all political, and it's all agenda driven. And if the agenda doesn't fit what we're trying to do, we're not interested. Does that make it a valid movement? If sisters are not having real, meaningful conversation with white women about white privilege, let's just go back. Look at the schools. Mainly black boys interface with white women as teachers. Mm-hmm. And if the white woman sees the black boy, now mind you, the boy, he's a boy, a child. If white women are looking at black boys as a threat off top. Now there's a study out there that already said that the survey was basically saying, in general, black boys are seen or perceived to be older than they really are.
Right.
So if I'm a white female teacher in class with this boy who may not have a father, with this boy who may be dealing with poverty, we already understand the poverty movement, why wouldn't black feminists engage this type of woman who has the seat of power with regards to cultivating this child's mind? Soon as that black woman lets that kid go leave home and go to school and is now in the care of this teacher, why wouldn't black feminists be engaging these conversations with their stepsisters, the white woman? Veronica, your answer?
I don't know. I think every black woman that I know that has a child is up at the school, and if they perceive injustice with what's happening in the school system, they're on it. If they, if they have the bandwidth and the capacity, right, because understand that if you're a single parent, then your capacity is stretched in terms of even interfacing with anybody. So that's one part of it, but every black woman that I know has been up at the school banging with these teachers about it. That's not a mystery.
No.
Black women do it all the time.
I'm saying, before you can come to us saying we're going to boycott or rally against Trump, you've got some shit you've got to answer to before you get our help. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
So can we talk about how y'all treat little black boys? There's another study out there that talks about the disproportionate numbers with regards to detention and referral and getting kicked out of class. Who's kicking these little black boys out of class but white teachers? Can we talk about that? Shouldn't sisters hold their stepsisters' feet to the fire before they participate in a movement? That's what intersectionality is, right? We've got issues. Yeah. We've got situations. Can you deal with our issues before we form this unified front against the issue you want dealt with?
I agree. I think we have to understand where we're at. I think that we have to quit pretending, it's that this last election and then this whole movement isn't what it is. I think we have to just be wide-eyed, open-eyed about the reality of that. And so in the reality of that, the illusion of interdependence or that we can be dependent on them or count on them for whatever, I think we have to say, if it happens, great, but if not, great. And that's where black self-sufficiency is going to need to emerge. We're going to have to become self-sufficient in our communities. Because we have to really make peace with that, because it should not be about what they do or don't do. They're going to do what they're going to do, and they're on the march doing what they're going to do.
Yikes.
Fine. At some point, George Fraser says it all the time. We have everything we need. We've got a $1.2 trillion economy. We're educated. We've got the leverage of living here in America, as long as America lasts, which, we'll see.
Right.
And we've got access to the resources, to internet. We've got access to a lot of things that people all over the world were the envy of, but people all over the world in a certain way. However, we're still missing each other. And so the thing is that it's time for brothers and sisters to lay down their swords with each other and stop looking outward and gazing outward at and blaming each other and really focus our attention on what the real enemy or what the real force is that is moving against us globally.
Wow.
Right? Like, we don't have the luxury anymore.
Wow.
So, yes, the sisters should be coming together, but brothers should be coming together with sisters. And all this stuff about blaming and that's like, grow up. Like, at this point, it actually has to stop. There's more at stake than your feelings than you had in a bad relationship.
Ooh.
There's actually something more at stake.
Whoop. Veronica, I agree.
Yes.
I agree 100%, but I must implore you to understand that there are no black men in those meetings with sisters and stepsisters, sisters and white women. All I'm saying and
that's crazy.
And I'm just saying,
crazy.
as an observer on the outside looking in, all I'm saying is, if they need you to align with them in order to get what they want, is it too much to ask that sisters have an Afrocentric list of demands? An African community, you right? An African community-centric list of demands to say, look, if y'all need us to be sisters with y'all, a show of solidarity, can y'all do something that funnels resources back to us? That's all I'm asking.
No, I agree with that, but that means that black women would need to come together with more solidarity.
Hey, now we're cooking.
But we need to be in solidarity with black men too. There's no reason that a black man should be on the outside looking in at his own what's happening in his own community.
Well, no. That's not what I'm saying.
Illegal.
That's not what I'm saying.
Illegal.
Baby girl, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're on the outside looking in the little secret coven between black women and white women who are unified under the umbrella of what is known as feminism. We're on the outside looking in on the girls' club, right? The girl gang. All I'm saying is, if the girl gang has white supremacist beliefs, notions, ideas that create intersectionality, right? That creates division within their own factions. I'm saying if they come to you and they ask you for your support, should you not then hit them back with a list of demands?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what the activists are doing. And I'm saying that it is time for everyone that's in the black community to not be on the outside of anything that pertains to our community. But if you're on the front lines, one of the reasons that I'm so convicted about the things that I speak for is because there's very little that I speak about that I haven't directly experienced or witnessed or observed someone else doing, whether it's clients or peers or colleagues, because I'm in the mix. And so that's what it takes to actually know something about what's going on. And so I think that if I look at a lot of women that are out here fighting even for their kids, let's say their kids in the classroom, then they're usually doing it alone, without support, without community, without women as a group of solidarity, or men that are showing up to take their fatherly responsibility inside of that dynamic. So it's often the diffusion and the way we're so dispersed and diffracted is part of the problem. Women always have to fight. Black women have always got to fight these institutions and when it comes to their children and racism, unless they completely abdicate and leave it up to these institutions to just do whatever the hell they're going to do. But women that are in the fight often feel alone, feel afraid, feel unsupported.
So wait a minute. So you telling me they joined feminism because they didn't have support from the brothers?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I'm talking about the original point that you made, though, was around women and how they have to deal with teachers and the impact of racism and the dynamic of that inside of the classroom. I'm saying that there perhaps is not a mobilized front among black women, but I'm saying that there's not a black woman that I know personally that I've talked to that hasn't been gangbanging on behalf of their children individually inside of the system. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm speaking to.
Right.
Is it true that we should come together in solidarity and potentially do a united front around that? That is possible. But I'm saying that historically, women have felt isolated in their advocacy for their children. They have. I'm not saying it's a reason to go to feminism. White women have put you on notice about where they stand. Ooh. They really have. They put us on notice.
Oh, I love it.
It couldn't be clearer. So that's okay. They've done that. So so what? Now what? So what are we going to do inside of our community to gather ourselves, our resources, our intelligence, our advocacy, our willpower, our understanding of the nature of things, our spirituality?
But Veronica, let me drill down even further. Take someone as stardust laden as you, the special unicorn that you are, right? The rainbow mane that you have, right? I'm just saying, a sister like you would be one hell of a catalyst to be able to go in there, and I'm just talking to other sisters, unifying them around these particular issues, right? Hey, sisters, did you know that white teachers, female teachers are really hard on young black males to the point where they don't relate, number one, and with the inability to relate to young black males, they're quicker to kick them out of class.
Yep.
Sisters, did you know that our young sisters who are in class with these brothers are learning how to expel men via that process? Sister, I'm asking Veronica Conway, could Veronica Conway teach sisters? Could Veronica Conway circle the wagons and rally sisters to this understanding so when they do go participate in a feminist movement that was put together by some unseen financial hand with a political agenda, that they go in there with their own set of demands? Couldn't someone like you do that?
Sure. That is possible. But let me just explain to you what happens. Because, like I said, I've said before, and I'll say it again. I've been in the Negro business a long time.
The Negro business.
Right? Where I have been on the front lines of supporting black people across the globe in getting clear about their mindset, getting clear about overcoming internalized racism, getting clear about their businesses and their money, getting clear about their sexuality, I've been in that for a long time as an advocacy for my people. And so it's not true that I can't do that, but what has to happen, I have learned in life that I have to pick my battles, because when I came out and did the black paper and did black mastery, it's just like what you have to go through, though, and there's no mass support, both economic and logistic, and in terms of advocacy. It becomes very exhausting over time to maintain that on your own if you're dealing with a group of people that are apathetic.
Woo!
White folks ain't apathetic. White folks ain't apathetic about theirs. They support their leaders. They support the people that advocate for white interests. And so anyone that steps into that arena with black folks, and believe me, I hear it from everybody. I've heard it from Maggie Anderson, who runs the Empower Experiment. I've heard it from people at Black Enterprise. Like, there's a bunch of folks that have been on the front lines for decades, from Claude Anderson, and they get very disillusioned because black people are in a state of apathy. Now, I've made it my business to understand that our apathy is a reaction to what we've experienced here in this country. The reason that we're apathetic is because we've been so violated and we've almost had the willpower beaten out of us. So I get it, because I've made it my life's work to study that. But if you're going to pick up the fight, then you have to have support and advocacy from people in your community. It's not a fucking spectator sport anymore, brothers and sisters. You can't just sit and watch Zoe and watch what he has to go through to gangbang and put this up, put like the price that he has to pay to put up his show every week, the price that he has to pay to put out books every week, the price that I've had to pay to be in the Negro business for 17 years. So I hear that, and I can teach plenty, but there has to be some reciprocity from our community if people are going to put themselves in harm's way. You can't just sit back and watch it like it's a fucking spectator sport on television. It should be your business to know about the activists in your community. It should be your business to know about the institutions that are fighting on your behalf. It should be your business to contribute $5 at a time. It just should. So you can't do it in a vacuum. Believe me, I've tried. I know people who've done it, and it's painful and excruciating, and it breaks your heart.
So
it's heartbreaking.
So a lot of people get at me and be like, yo, man, why are you doing these type of topics? Because they're all connected. They are interconnected topics. Veronica just expertly articulated a big issue within our community, and that's disorganization, self-hate, competitive competition. That's why I did the Caddy Show, right? This is why I did the Caddy Show, because what I wanted to illustrate was, and nobody wants to hear this conversation. Everybody wants to get mad at this conversation or whatever. But let's be real. There's a lot of infighting right? Amongst black men. Black men are infighting with each other, and then there are black women infighting with each other, right? So I try to point this out, and then we're fighting. Then black men and women are fighting each other. So amongst black men, let me just clear it up. Amongst black men, we're fighting each other. We talking shit to each other. We're disrespecting each other. We're marginalizing, denigrating each other. And I say this all the time. That's because white supremacy taught us to derive power by putting each other down. Boom.
Correct.
So that's happening. Then there are sisters doing the same thing to each other.
Correct.
Then, on top of that, let's go join this feminist march, not knowing the real agenda behind who funded it and for what agenda they have for it, right?
Correct.
So all of these layers of complexity of misunderstanding are happening concurrently. What I'm saying to Veronica Conway right now, as Zoe Williams and Veronica Conway, how do we become a beacon of hope or a signpost that say, hey, look at these layers, everybody. This is what's holding us back. This is what's keeping us fragmented. How do we pull people into the understanding that they need to know in order for us to, form some type of solidarity within ourselves?
Well, here's the thing. You better figure out how to do it before life does it for you. Right? Let's just get real. So being able to call each other bitches and hoes is a luxury. It's a luxury.
Damn.
Right? Iyanla Van Zandt just did a piece on this about how when she was doing that thing with Iyanla Fix My Life, and she had the House of Black Women. She was talking about how when her grandmother was, a maid and washing white people's clothes and all this stuff, and they were calling her pickaninny bitch and all that. When you're under assault like that and it's so overt like that, you have your head on straight and you actually act right in the face of that, because you have a visible enemy that you can see that you are at the effect of. So it's very real and very visceral. So in those days, they wouldn't dare call a woman, black women wouldn't dare call each other bitch, right? But we have the luxury of doing that now, but not for long. You can keep indulging in all of the undisciplined, disrespectful, undermining, apathetic activities or lack of activity all you want. But at some point, it's going to be out of your hands because of the ways that people are moving on this planet. So if we don't come together and mobilize and align and put the sword down and get over ourselves and get over our wounding, then we will be at the effect of the agenda that is moving against melanation on the planet. It is just that simple. So we will either move together or we will perish alone. That's it.
Don't do it, Veronica. They need to breathe. We're going to take a quick break. We took them deep. Man. We took them deep.
Just trying to show up and earn my keep.
Damn. We took them deep. Listen, we are a confused lot here. We're in trouble. And that's why I'm trying to have this kind of conversation. If you're just tuning into the Voice of Reason, let me tell you what it is. It's the Stepsisters Show. What black women really think about the white woman's role in racism in America. Veronica, before I leave, let me just put this on you.
Okay.
How does it make you feel when you see just a fully God-realized black man, alpha, entrepreneur, just on sovereign God status, international, global citizen, financially free, with whitey locks on his arm?
You
Whoa!
I got an opinion about that.
Yeah, I know you do. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to deal with how sisters process interracial relationships. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is back in the building. Let me turn my headphones down as my headphones giving you that feedback. Yo, man, today's topic, man. Woo, true or false? White women are active participants, proponents of, and key beneficiaries of the system of slavery in the United States, both historically and now. We got a prison, right? A pipeline to prison, from the school to the prison. We need sisters who are in administration. We got callers, other callers? Let's see. Let's go for them real quick.
Don't kick me out of here, though, please.
Okay. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Who's on the line?
It's Darnell calling out of Tuscaloosa.
Darnell out of Alabama. What up, man?
What up?
Speak on it, PM. You hear tonight's topic. What's on your mind?
I want to, first, I'm really speaking to Veronica on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
You had a dude on your show called Chanson.
Chanson, yeah. Movie director.
Right. He was talking about how you only can control the facet that you can control.
Yeah.
And I look at like me, you, and Veronica as lions.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like to me, Veronica is like chasing a deer.
Huh. Say more.
When she don't have to do that.
Mm. Say more.
You get what I'm saying?
Say more. Go deeper.
It's like the lion, to me symbolizes love, because the lion will basically do anything for that the female lion tell it to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Only because the female lion is capable of that type of love.
Mm.
So it'll go after a giraffe and all that because of that.
Because of the love of his woman, he'll do whatever.
Right. So with Veronica saying, if she say build a school,
mm-hmm.
It's stuck in my mind to do that because I know she's saying it with love.
Ooh, okay. I could smoke a bag of that. Yeah.
So, but on the analogy, as far as the topic, I got kind of like a Jeff Brown analogy.
Go ahead.
As far as I look at it as like a chess game. I look at the black woman as the queen on the board, which is free to move how I want to move when it's self-realized, when a black woman self-realized. And I look at the white woman as the bishop, which is the only thing move is the cross. So you can expect that from the white woman, the cross.
I was waiting for you to take off from the free throw line.
That's an amazing analogy.
Damn,
But
Tuscaloosa is in the building. Whoop. Hey, good one. Go ahead.
But the bishop is valuable for the capture the king.
Yeah.
On the opposite side. So I look at the white woman as valuable for the black woman.
Damn. She could use her.
Without the bishop, I don't feel like we can capture the king.
Ooh.
And do what we got to do for the build. So I feel like the white woman valuable for the black woman.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call,
but
man.
the intelligence only for the free ones, though. But like I said, we only can control the facet we can control, so we just got to move like that.
I appreciate the call. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, you're on the Voice of Reason. Where you calling? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Marshall, Texas.
This is who?
Marshall, Texas.
All right, Marshall from Texas. What's up, man? Speak on it.
Hey, what's going on, though?
I'm chilling, man.
Ain't no Marshall, man. I'm going to say this.
I'm going to say this. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing, BC? So, man,
Hey.
I love you guys,
Hey.
man. I've been listening to my app, man. It's so astoundingly wonderfully. And I was going, be on, the balance that I, like you said, Joe, she started us, she's the Stardust lady or whatever, however you said it. But yeah, and her perspective is what's needed, but it's so far-fetched. And I'm not a pessimist, and I'll get to my point. I'm not a pessimist at all, but I am 100% a realist.
Right.
And what's not going to happen is we all, some but not all, we all aren't going to come together and be on this plane and have this focus, have this drive, have this goal set in our minds and in our hearts. We're not going to all do that. So let's stop saying we need to do this, we need to do that, because everybody's not going to do it. They're not. Especially if you're at a certain age and you're still caught up in wanting to drink your hole and all these designer shits. You want to have your hole like a peanut hole, your hole looking better than mine or Zoe's or who's ever. And you're living that kind of life, you ain't shit to me. You're a waste. Because now, like you said, Veronica, it's childish. It's time to go up from this damn retailism, this purchasism, this I want to fall ass-ism, and start to grind and really focus on what's needed. And we have to start learning to love one another again. But here's what's not going to happen. Everybody's not going to do it because they're too busy looking at Mr. Charlie Dick and licking his wise ass. You look at our black women's heads.
Hallelujah, Pastor.
Look at their hair. It's sad. And if it's a black woman with white woman hair, I'm not saying to fucking listen to her. I don't give a shit how much valuable shit she's got to say that's coming out of her mouth. So just the look of her with that white bitch hair in her head, I'm not saying to fucking listen to you.
I'ma say this.
Because for one, you hate your motherfucking self. And it's shameful. You need your ass whooped and start to learn to love you again. You know, I say it again. Everybody's not going to come. We don't even love ourselves. How the hell we going to begin to build on these things and we fucking hate one another, not only one another, but our fucking self. They hate what they see in the mirror. That's why they go get that damn pony hair. But I digress, man. I'm done, man. I tried not to do it.
Hey, man, that's all right. That's all right.
But here's who we need to reach out to. Those of us who, in spite of being part of this world, in spite of this being part of this world, we have overcome all these trinkets and all these what looks like to be luxuries and delicacies. Those of us who learned that shit ain't shit, those are the ones who we need to reach out to.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Those are the ones we need to build on.
Hey, man, thank you so much for your call, man. You're a real one. You ain't got to apologize. That shit was real. We appreciate it. This is a space where you can speak without judgment, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you calling.
Appreciate it.
All good. Yo, what's your name and where you calling from? Oh, we lost him. All right, it's gone. Veronica. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's your name and where you calling from? You're in the Voice of Reason.
This is Miss Lips.
Miss Lips in her natural state on the phone.
Yes. Miss Lips.
Miss Lips. What do you got to say, girl?
I love you guys and I miss you guys. I just been burning over here, and it's not a normal burn, okay? This is a burn of
Did you go to
acknowledgement and guilt towards my own self. Because I call my own queens bitches and hoes too. And the only white woman that I trust in the media is Jane Elliott. And she's the only one that acknowledged racism. You know, she goes to these all white schools and she goes to these different places and talk about racism, which is real. White people, they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to have any they don't want us to have reparations. They feel like we get welfare. They get welfare too.
Mm-hmm.
They get Section 8 too. They get everything we get. The other day I saw a white man get a perm for his woman. His woman was white.
Miss
Totally.
Lips, whether she's in studio or on the phone, gonna say something that's gonna take you away. I saw a white man get a perm.
I did, and they wearing our dashikis and our Jordans, It's getting to the point where, all these, they doing all the twerking and all this shit, and they took over the dab,
But what are we wearing? We're wearing their validation.
We wearing Michael Kors, and we wearing Kenneth Cole, and we fucking up too. We just really need to tap the middle of our fucking head and between our eyes and reboot ourselves on a daily basis.
Once again, we got love for Miss Lips. Miss Lips, has a white woman ever hated on you in the sense like,
Yes.
let me do it another way. Forget that question. Have you ever hated on a brother who looked like he had his shit together, but he was with a white woman?
Yes, I did, and I also had to honestly say to myself, why did he have to go that route?
Uh-huh.
Was it because of us? Was it the negative energy from us? Was it his mother? Was it his sister? Was he too dark enough? Was he ugly enough? What was it? Was his dick small? What was it that we had to push him away for him to get a white girl? Was it because he needed her like Ice-T?
Do you guys
Ice-T
even...
is a personal example.
Oh, go deeper.
Darlene, I love Darlene, and if Darlene hear this message, I want her to know that, hey, she did everything she tried to do. If you look at the pattern between Darlene and Coco, you see why he chose Coco. Coco can get through the doors faster than a Darlene can.
Let me ask you.
It's a white Amex. It's a white Amex card.
Let me ask you, have you ever confronted a white woman for dating a black man? Like, have you ever had conversations with white women to say, why do you go after our men? Or is it for love, or is it jungle fever? Like, do sisters have like interracial kind of sexual conversations with white women? I want to know, because you guys, women share shit differently than men do. Like I said, women be in the bathroom, they be putting on each other's makeup and touching each other's breasts and shit. We don't get down like that, right? So I'm trying to figure this out. Like, do you guys have those real conversations with white women?
Yes, I have. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, with my family, and the most women that I know a lot of white women, Hispanic women, Indian women. I know a lot of women. But the worst women that I have ever sat down at a table with was white women. You understand me? Because they know it is a race between us. Now they got a kind of competition with Mexican women and all these other ethnic women also.
Right.
They hate us. They know that our pussy is better, sweeter, juicier. They know that we're more vibrant. They know at the end of the day, these black men feel guilty about being with their white ass. And it is a white woman. When they win a black man, the black men feel like he gets that privilege. Like I said, the same thing with Coco. He can go to ABC and NBC and get a show because he got this white bitch on his arm.
Damn. Okay. Tell us how you really feel.
It's like a credit card.
A white woman is like a credit card. Ooh, a social credit card?
And the same thing with Serena and her white man. She will go places and be accepted, and then she can have biracial children that can go through the same shit.
Wow.
Same thing like Paris Jackson. She feels like she's black.
Okay, Miss Lips, you done went on 8 different topics. So we got to wrap you up, baby. And we appreciate you. We can't wait till you come back. But you can't have 19 topics on this show right now. All open files. We love you, baby girl.
Hilarious.
We'll see you when you get back to town, okay?
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Miss Lips bring up some hella points, though. She bring up some good points. And she didn't say nothing about sucking dick. So that was dope. We didn't get that. But she brings up an interesting point. I'm like really interested to know, like, do sisters approach like white women who get butt implants, or sisters who are, or sisters approach or have conversations? And when I say approach, I don't mean disrespectfully. See, I'm the type of person who sit down and ask people about their culture, right? I'm gonna say, why would you get lip implants? Like, why would you like fatten up your lips? Are you trying to make your lips like black women? Right? I would want to know, like, right. Why are you on the beach tanning like a motherfucker? Like, are you trying to get darker? See, because what I've understood in the 40 some odd years I've been alive is white people love our culture, but they don't love what it took to create the culture. Like, if you look at any form of music, of artistry that was created here in America, it was created out of the struggle. So, like, if you listen to ragtime music or the blues came from depression. That's why this shit is called the blues. This shit comes from hurt, comes from the man done stole some shit again. You know, that type shit, right? Won't give me my check this evening. You know, there's some hurt connected to that. Or so if you look at hip hop, the story of hip hop is born out of struggle, poverty, systemic racism, right? So what I find interesting is white people love to participate in the end result of that struggle. Oh, I'm hip hop, right? I'm fly, I'm dope, I'm fresh, but haven't really lived it. So my question to you, Veronica, do sisters in this feminist movement with their stepsisters, white women, do you guys engage in these kind of conversations? And I'm not saying you're a feminist. I'm just saying, do you engage? Do you seek to engage in these types of conversations?
Yeah, but I want to put it in the context of recent history. So, because I've been in the Negro business for 17 plus years,
the Negro business,
I've had my ear to the ground in terms of the zeitgeist of Black thought, and so I sort of saw when the revolution began to catch fire post-Ferguson. But I would say, because I'd been advocating and been around organizations that were advocating on behalf of Black people for years before that, I started my own Black organization. I could see the arc of when people used to feel quite repressed around talking about Blackness and white supremacy and white privilege in mixed company. Right? So that the people that was just like 10 or so short years ago. It wasn't that long ago that people didn't do that. I had a friend, Shaka C. Butler, who did a whole series of movies about white privilege and filmed white people talking about white privilege. And, so that was considered radical at the time.
Right.
So with the election of Obama and the witnessing of all of the backlash against him from Republicans, people began to realize and began to call out this stuff, call out the Kardashians, call out Vogue for saying that,
cornrows,
Black Twitter,
right?
Yeah, cornrows and all that stuff. Like, so, but you got to understand that, like 10 years ago, it wasn't socially acceptable across the board to do that. So that's only been something that's resurfaced and been amplified. Social media has amplified it. Black Twitter's amplified it in the past decade. So yeah, women are having these conversations, but understand that it's only been recent that anybody's been willing to really have these conversations publicly.
Right. But I'm saying, moving forward, how do we get this movement going? Where, sister, if you gonna call yourself a feminist, you have to, you just gotta question, right? You just gotta question the white women there too, your stepsisters, on their privilege. Shouldn't that be part and parcel for moving forward for the new feminist movement? Shouldn't sisters be like, y'all don't get to go, kind of double agent on us when the perfect white candidate comes along, or even when the imperfect white candidate comes along, when it comes to the political aspect of it, the political side of it, or when institutional racism is in play and you got benefits that come from that, you don't get to choose those benefits over our solidarity. Shouldn't sisters be pushing white feminists to be in alignment with that thought process?
But they do. The activists, like, for example, the activists from Say Her Name, right, which were drawing attention to Sandra Bland and Corrine Gaines and all the women that have been murdered by police, they've been actively on the front lines, mixing it up with white feminists, and were appalled and disgusted by their lack of understanding of even that movement, because they had total amnesia about all of it. So here's what I would say. Yes, you can demand that the activists who are already out there on the front lines do more of that. And here's what I would say to the people that are listening. It is your job to go out and support the activists that are on the front lines doing it. That's your job, because it is exhausting and it's tiring to be out there doing this work with nobody knowing about it, alone against white supremacy, and you don't have the support of your black brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So they're doing it. They're just not doing it in big enough numbers. And the fact that we don't know about it means we are not plugged in enough to our people and what is actually happening. So they get tired. They get exhausted from fighting without support. So this is a call to action for everybody.
We got a lot of Twitter movement going right now. Somebody just quoted something I said in 2006, when I did Black Men Revealed, the television show for TV One. I said white people are negrophobic and negrophilic. They love us and hate us, scared of us and love us at the same time. They hate us and are afraid of us, yet they can't get enough of us.
They're consumers. Parasites don't know they're parasites.
Oh, shit. Veronica Conway from the free throw line. Let me just say this. A lot of bodies said something. She asked a question, and I'm going to pose this question to you, Veronica. Not that you're a feminist, but I'm sure you're aware of the movement and you understand. First off, let me just say something about a half-truth. Like, feminism has a point, right? Women were getting dogged the fuck out not more than 100 years ago, right? And I mean, dogged the fuck out at the highest level of dogtivity, right? Because you're my wife, you're my property, keep that little muffin wet. And don't look at me sideways or you will catch the back of this hand. Right? So violence, part of the relationship. That's par for the course, right? I'm just saying. So feminism as a concept makes sense. Okay, we need equality, right? We need that. I get it. I understand its purpose, right? But then, as with most ideas, you can look at the progression of Christianity. Something happened a while ago that created this idea that still exists today, right? Something must have happened a while ago for somebody to go, shit, a God man, the son of God, something. Now, we understand the stories around it. It could have been the sun, a metaphor for the sun. We get it. We don't get too deep, but I'm just saying. The idea is here. But as with most ideas, the longer they go on, the more they get translated, the more they get diluted, the more they get broken down. And then the more they get, I think, the extremist part of it gets put into play, right? So my question is, when does somebody say, wait a minute, let's pull feminism back to say, wait a minute, there's some ideas in here, that's some bullshit. And then not only are there some bullshit ideas in feminism, there's also the racist part of feminism that isn't dealt with. Right. So in order for it to be a successful movement, you got to root out the bullshit limiting beliefs within the system. And who's going to call those people to the floor? Veronica?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
A lot of body just asked me right here. She said, is feminism just another illusion of inclusion?
Feminism was never meant for us. Feminism was the white woman's beef with her man because he's fucking so oppressive and crazy She wanted to beef with him, and it was, you look at who it was funded by, it was a way to spread up the tax base and to make people have to work more. It was a way to split up the family. But women responded to it out of their sense of oppression from their white men. It had nothing to do with us because our men didn't have enough power to oppress us, right? So so we have to understand the origin of that. Now, it's not to say that there aren't some things that, in other words, there are aspects of it, there are elements of it that have the grain of truth in it, right?
Right.
And so much has changed. Again, and I say it always goes back to biology and the fact that the social construct hasn't caught up with biology. When women could go on the pill and have reproductive control of their bodies, it changed the power dynamic inherently between the sexes.
Right.
Just changed it.
Right.
Because at one point, women were dependent on men to protect and provide, because if they were going to have sex, it was going to have consequences, called the child. And so biology dictated the way people function. Now, there is a seeming choice about that because women have control over their reproduction, allegedly. We don't act like it sometimes. We don't act like it, but
didn't Donald Trump just cancel some shit regarding abortion?
Oh, yes, he did. But understand what the whole conservative movement is about having control over women's reproduction. Because if you troll any of these white nationalist, red pill, manosphere sites, it's all about the white man feeling victimized, frankly, and like he's under assault, and like he's under assault by all of this encroaching brownness. And so part of their agenda is to get white women back under the control of their thumb. That is their stated agenda. And understand that this whole move against anti-abortion is nothing more than that whole piece. Not talking to black women about don't get an abortion. We're talking to white women about don't get an abortion, because they understand that they're outnumbered demographically and that they're losing power globally. So that all of that, to move to ban abortion and all that is pointed. It's a dog whistle for white women. It has nothing to do with us. They could care less if we killed each other off the face of the earth. So we have to look at the public discourse and understand what's really being said and communicated here, and who it's being communicated to.
We need some white women in here. Whitey Locks, call us 323-230-4610. We want to hear from feminine Whitey Locks, 323-230-4610. Do you love sisters? Are you concerned with the lives of sisters? Where were you when Sandra Bland was killed? Ugh. I'm talking about the feminists. Where are they? Where are they when black women are in trouble? Ugh. You're mad at, this white man saying grab him by the pussy. So you dress up as giant bleeding pussies. And you yell and scream about being a nasty woman. But do you really support your mama? Because every black woman has that ancient mitochondrial DNA that takes her back to the fucking dawn of existence. Do you see the black woman as your mama? If you did, would you show your mama? No, you wouldn't. You put your mother in a home. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess we've answered that question then. I just want to know what white women really think about sisters. You remember that old Sir Mix-a-Lot record when they was talking about the big booty? Now they was shitting on the big booty then, but now every white girl wants a fat ass. Ugh, goodness.
Right, because they're willing to consume our culture. They're willing to consume our culture, but not necessarily have to coincide and coexist with us. I mean, do you get that? Like, it's consumptive. They we've been trained to be consumers of materials because that benefits the people that benefit materially from our consumption. The fact that we have $1.2 trillion going away from us and not recycling into our community. But they consume our culture. They consume all the resources of the earth. They consume all of the real estate of the earth. They consume all the cultures of the earth. It's a consumptive culture. And I'm not saying anything. It's not borne out in history. I want you to understand, this is not about being racist. It's about telling the truth about the history of what has happened here on this planet. And until we are clear about that, then we're never going to know how to battle this thing and save ourselves, because we don't really know what we're really looking at.
Who is it better?
Right?
Which is more beneficial? Is it more beneficial for sisters to confront their stepsisters in the feminist movement, or is it more beneficial for sisters to make another solid, sustained effort to mend the broken bridges between brothers and sisters?
I think we should leave them alone. I think all of our navel gazing and all of our attention outward, it really doesn't mean anything. Just go in and deal with your people. Our people are about to be under assault in a pretty major way here. The Fraternal Order of Police are about to let their freak flags fly under Trump. Make no mistake that every black
starting in Chicago,
America is going to be under assault with full license from the Fraternal Order of Police. It's not a game anymore, y'all. So all this, we leave them alone.
Wow.
Focus on your community.
Wow. Yikes. What you gonna do about it, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, we live in a world of peril right now. Listen, nobody is paying attention to Sun Tzu, The Art of War. The highest form of war is to not have one. You remember Bruce Lee when he convinced that dude to get in that boat? The art of fighting is to be able to win a fight without having to fight one. He convinced that dude to get in a boat. Yes, we're in some trying times. But I don't believe we need to be consumed with a defeatist or gloom and doom kind of mentality.
No.
I think trying times are times of great opportunity, right? There's an opportunity to organize. There's an opportunity to collaborate. There's an opportunity to cooperate. There's an opportunity to brainstorm, right? There's an opportunity to strategize. We fucking squander these opportunities because we allow fear to make decisions for us. I just believe that fear drove sisters into feminism. Fear of scarcity, fear of lack, fear of no support. Like Veronica was saying, like, I'm not going to get any support over here. I might as well get with something that's getting something done, right? So I come back to you again. I say, well, if that is the case, Veronica, how do we get back on the same page with each other?
I think black men and black women have to lay down their swords, both sides, period. End of story. Whatever it takes, whatever you got to do, whatever you got to figure out, whatever, just lay down your swords, period. And I'll decide to align. The book that I read called The Black Matrix, and it talks about it's not just been a material warfare or political warfare or military warfare that's been executed against brown and black people globally, but it's also been psychological warfare. And so understand that we've been at the effect of a psychological war campaign, because it's much easier to control 88% of the planet if you have them in self-doubt and hating each other. It's just much easier to do. So at a certain point, we have to know that that's what happened to us. Decide it is not even about anyone or anything else except us deciding to come together and heal each other and heal ourselves and fight and overcome. That's it. And so whatever that takes, whatever you got to do, whatever pride you got to swallow, whatever apathy you got to get over, whatever you got to do to make the community whole, your stretch of it, your patch of it, your community of it, do it.
Veronica, it's not that easy.
Got that what?
It's not that easy.
No, it requires letting go of pride, laying down your sword, saying I'm sorry, figuring out what it takes. Like, it's figuring out what it takes. Anything that's meaningful requires something. You have to pay a price for it. So why not start at home? Why not start at home? Because it is easy to sit here through the lens of whatever and call each other names. But we don't sit here in Paris calling each other names and killing each other and economically depriving each other and all this stuff that we do as a form of self-hatred. And we're going to sit here perishing while everything else is on the move. So, okay, you can. So if you're going to tell me that getting over apathy and apologizing and swallowing pride is too big of a price to pay, then you must not know what's at stake, or you'd never say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the voice of Veronica Conway. She is the creator of Black Mastery, a neuro-linguistic program that is hosted or narrated by the venerable Iyanla Vanzant. It is the first neuro-linguistic program that is designed to uproot self-hate, colorism, crabs in the barrel mentality. This sister went to Cal Berkeley, educated sister, black, powerful, beautiful goddess on the other side of the game of maturity, is up here dropping hot monkey nuggets. It's a new type of white meat, monkey nuggets, right? Hot
Right.
Wow.
Fire. That's vivid. That's vivid.
Right. I'm just.
Monkey nuts is vivid.
I'm spitballing right now. Let me do it.
I could never unfix that. But go ahead.
Nah, she's up here clowning, man. If you're just tuning in to the voice of reason, man, it's crazy right now. Today's topic, I just got to keep you in the loop of what we're talking about because I believe it's one of those real ass conversations. It's called Stepsisters. What black women really think about the white woman's role in racism in America, the state of interracial relations between black and white women. What is racism's effect on interracial sisterhood? A lot of people, let me tell you something about the human mind. The levels of complexity that we add to shit intensifies or gets deeper and deeper the longer we go on, right? The longer something goes on, the more time passes, you know, we keep adding layers of complexity. So instead of just saying the interracial relationship between white women and black women, we'll say, oh, intersectionality in feminism. What is intersectionality, right? Get all deep, right? You know, so many different types of feminism. There's liberal feminism, radical feminism, difference feminism, inequality feminism, religious feminism, lesbian feminism, black feminism, right? White feminism. Yes, white feminism, right? Womanism. I'm not a feminist. I'm a womanist, right? The longer some shit. There go my baby girl just joining us, Whitney Tabor. I know you've been listening to this bullshit, right? It's crazy. She was in traffic. She's just getting here. So for anybody who just tuned in, we're just talking about this relationship between sisters and white women. We call them stepsisters. Hilarious. What does the term intersection or intersectionality mean? The term intersectionality was coined by critical race theorist Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989. Though the actual concept was around since at least 1851. See, Ain't I a Woman by Sojourner Truth. It is a feminist sociological theory that centers around analyzing and discussing how oppression often intersects, creating unique and varied experiences of discrimination. Intersectionality. Can a sister be a goddamn feminist without having a real conversation about race with white feminists? Whitney Tabor just joined the lava pit.
The lava. It's hot in here, man. It really is actually temperature-wise hot as hell in here.
Well, Eddie is here.
Yeah, don't blame Eddie. Hey, Eddie.
He's like a space heater.
He a big. That's the bigger nigga version right there.
The bigger nigga version.
Yes.
Talk to me about it. I know you've heard the show, right? You've been listening a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And I mean, it's different, I feel like, as far as white feminists go, black feminists go. I feel like black women are the reason that the feminist movement even began. Because we had to. Y'all have white privilege. You white ladies, I have friends. I'm half white. I got half privilege. Do I get half privilege?
Do I get a half privilege?
I don't think so. I think the one drop rule always, takes over. But realistically, I mean, as far as the feminist movement goes, I think that's the black women's struggle movement. That's what it should be called. That's our movement. We taught the white girls how to be a strong black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all didn't have to, because I'm sorry, y'all didn't have to. You was like, oh, it's kind of cool to be cussing fools out and doing what you got to do and do. Just like everything else, being black is cool. People.
Oh man, you know what's interesting? The homie Chris, who just left, he said feminism, it made you strong, opinionated, outspoken, and possibly the ratchet women you are.
Hating.
Yikes,
Hating.
Chris. Tell us how you really feel.
Damn, I know, right?
Jeez.
I mean, I feel like a feminist doesn't have to be ratchet. I don't think ratchet is sometimes a bad thing.
But I think what he's trying to say is
That
some feminist beliefs have actually eroded the relationship between black men and black women.
Yeah.
Agree? Disagree? Whitney, Veronica?
Yeah. Go ahead, VC.
Yeah, well, okay, so I think that black women are in the position of having to be protector, provider, breadwinner, all that stuff. And so understand that having to go to battle and gang bang out here, you can say that we're the most educated, you can say that we're a part of the white man's construct, but understand that we pay a price for having to exist inside of that. It's called putting us into a masculine polarity, right? So because our day-to-day circumstances that are around our survival end up putting us into a masculine polarity, the survival that's in a masculine polarity, then you can't be mad when the women turn out brittle and hard, and because they shouldn't be shouldering that particular burden alone.
Let me just come back.
That is something that should be shared between the polarities.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to say, too. I think I touched on our show on Friday a little bit about how men, take opinionated women and turn it into nagging and this, that, and the other. But yet, y'all don't know what you want because you say you want an independent. I want an independent. There's rappers that be screaming they want independent.
Those are dudes who was raised by single mamas.
Who had to be.
An independent, strong woman.
Realistically, I don't think any woman, black, white, purple, or green, would ever want to be a single mom because you do have to take on both roles. Ooh. And it's hard. It's tiring. You are. I'm sorry. If I was a single mom and I had to work 1 million hours a week and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, I definitely would be pissed off and mad and tired.
So let me ask you, Whitney. Being a sister,
yes,
do you feel some kind of way when you see a brother upwardly mobile, educated, God status with a white woman?
No.
You don't. Talk to me about it.
Okay, so and see, that's the thing is I don't understand it because I'm one of those. I'm one of these like little hippie kids who is like, love is love, and I'm mixed. So realistically, I think I would be a hypocrite if I were to say, no, I'm a black girl and you can't be with no white girl. Like, to me, I'm like, if y'all vibe and it works for y'all, then cool. That has nothing to do with me. You know, I might be a little like, well, what the hell? A little bit.
A little bit, huh?
Just because I'm single. That would be it.
It's because you're single.
It's because I'm single. You know what I'm saying? It's not because, you know, the color of her skin. It's like, well, damn. Okay, cool. But honestly, I don't think I would. I honestly get annoyed with the fact, because like I said, I have white friends of mine, Caucasian homegirls of mine, who they love black men. And it has nothing to do with, I don't know what it has.
Why is that, ladies?
I don't know. Call us.
Because I look good.
You know what I'm saying?
I smell good.
I understand. Like I
make love good.
I'm an equal opportunist.
I want to speak to that.
You know?
I want to speak to that.
Go ahead, BC.
So my daddy was a Black Panther, and my original birth mother, my biological mother, was black. And so, but she was young and couldn't raise me. So he met a white woman who ended up being my stepmother at a SNCC party meeting back in the days of the Panther Party. So I was raised by a white mother. So, and have had to go through my own set of identity crisis around what that means. Whose mother, like it's the woman that raised you, or the woman that birthed you? What does black mean? So I get all of the inherent things that go along with that. I look at it purely, I don't look at it personally, I look at it strategically. And if we as black people don't start to look at this thing strategically, and we're always responding to it personally, then we're going to suffer. So if you go to that website, and I've shown this before on this show, afieldnegro.com or afieldnegro.net, when it shows all the black men of power and celebrity that are dealing with white wives, whatever. The only issue that I take with it is that because of the way the law functions, you're looking at billions and billions and billions of dollars that are going to leave the black community and go back into white hands through death and divorce. Remember, Tiger married the nanny. It wasn't some beautiful, amazing peer of his that was equally successful. She was the fucking babysitter. And she got $750 million. So at some point...
Yikes!
So at some point, we have to be a little more strategic. Black men of power need to quit thinking with their genitals and look at it strategically about the implication of moving billions of dollars out of our community through death and divorce, because a fool and his money are soon parted. I look at it strategically, just like they do.
That's smart. I didn't even see. Yes, VC.
Y'all better be listening to these women talk to y'all, dude.
Well, and it's crazy, too. I didn't even think about it like that, as far as, like, one thing, too. Like I said, my dad is a white law enforcement officer. So when it comes to laws and the way women are treated, I'm sorry, like the 1%. I've been arrested right down the street on Cahuenga. You know what I mean?
What was you doing?
I don't know. No,
fucking badass. I was down there arrested.
Let's go.
Fucking with me.
But I'm saying, as far as like black men, like VC said, as far as black men, you know, marrying or choosing up with the white nanny, and, you know, she came all the way up. She didn't even have to struggle. She just, you know, watched his kids for about 10 minutes, you know, did something strange and got hella change. Hell, $750,000,
$750 million.
Whoa, crazy.
Is that what she got?
That's what she got. But I'm saying, but here's one more way. I mean, when Veronica said that, it made me go, oh, that's crazy, because guess what? I have white homegirls who will snap off on a man quick. Like, hands on him, kicking him, punching him, scratching him, like instantly. Me? I grew up with big brothers. I got brothers big like oh boy right here. Like, I'm going to think maybe like 10 minutes and maybe just cuss at him a little bit more and be like,
wait a minute.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
But that's white privilege,
That's
though.
what I'm saying is white women and dudes don't get it. They think, oh, I'm going to get Becky and now I'm winning all over the court because, you know, I won on the court and now I got this cute little Kim Kardashian or white chick or whatever she is. But here's my thing is, when shit goes south and she calls the police, guess what? You are always going to... It's like that LeBron cover. Remember the gorilla with the little white girl in the hand? Yeah. It's the same thing. Right. So, like, these athletes and these people... You can't
fuck with white women,
You
though.
can't do it. Like, they will always win. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, I have a best friend who is gorgeous. We call her a woody.
A what?
A woody.
What's that?
A white girl with a booty.
Have you ever had a Woody, Nick?
Nick.
A white girl with a booty?
Like a white girl with like a black girl's ass. Just like,
a Woody.
Damn, Gina. Like straight up, a Woody. And so all of these, you know, NBA players, basketball players, ballers, just they love her. But she's attracted to black men as well. So, but then she got an attitude. And I'm like, you said what to who? Ain't he like 6'8"? Oh, you crazy. Booty. But then I'm like, oh, wait. You know that if anything pops off for real, the cops are going to be on your side because, A, you're a woman. But who cares if you're a woman? Mainly because the color of your skin.
Wow.
Here should be the litmus test for black male celebrities and men of means. Here should be the litmus test when he goes to marry a white woman. And listen, no shame in that game because I'm not against love.
But are you guys going to have this conversation with your white stepsisters?
I do. Because I don't give a shit. I let my freak flag fly around white people. I've taken on white men and white women in their natural habitat. Believe me. Why do you think I can get on the radio and talk so much shit? Because I've lived it. So anyway, so here's the litmus test for celebrities.
I'm listening.
Because if she loves you, that's great. Upon your death or your divorce, the prenup should say that all of your resources will be given over to the black community.
Or your family. Or your black family.
Right. And see how she reacts.
She gonna be like, nigga. She gonna say it too. Nigga.
She gonna say it. She gonna
get your pussy ass out of here. That's what she gonna
Well, the Mac says everything it needs to say, doesn't it?
Well, and my thing is too, I'm excited to see this generation because, like, I guess the mixed culture, I mean, we're pretty well out there now, right? Like, so my thing is, as far as there's a lot of white moms out there that have all these little mixed babies and whatnot. I remember when I would get mistreated because of racism and certain issues and things like that. And people would see my dad sitting next to me and completely be like, nah, that she ain't with him. What is this little curly haired kid doing with this white dude?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
I just want to know is, do the white women back up their black kids? Because my dad straight up tried to burn down my whole school one time.
Oh, okay.
Because, it's because my daughter's black, isn't it? And my dad pulled that black card quicker than he said, I'm calling NAACP. I'm calling Oprah. I said, you know Oprah's number, bro? Like, he don't even know Oprah's number, no. But he was like, you're not going to So that's one thing is like, for the women who are creating all these mixed kids, like, are you guys accepting those mixed kids challenges that come with them? Because guess what? They don't get the same white privilege as you.
Right.
Like,
according to Forbes, Tiger Woods' wife walked with $100 million. She got $100 million. He's worth $600 million.
Oh.
So she got 100, according to Forbes.
Okay. She's still the babysitter. She's still the nanny.
She's still the nanny.
She was the nanny first and then became his wife and then got cheated on and got $100 million?
Yeah. That's fucking crazy. Well, let me just say this.
Good for her. Nick said good for her.
Let me just say it this. Well, let's flip it this way.
Okay.
Wrapping it up the show. Veronica, what would be your list of demands if you were a feminist?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your list of demands, Veronica and Whitney? Going into that meeting, okay, we gonna boycott Trump. We gonna, march against Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Here are as black women, here are our list of demands that you guys have to come in support of us on. What would be your fucking list of demands? Whitey, I want to see you here at this march for black women when we do blah, blah, blah. What would be that list? Veronica, go.
I'm trying to answer the question and I'm stumped, and it's not because I'm not opinionated about every damn thing under the sun, because I obviously am. But I just don't think it leans in that direction. I think we have to do for self. I think it's time to let them go.
Yeah.
Because
I get that.
Trying to get their attention or asking for their permission for a goddamn thing has not gotten us anywhere.
I agree with you.
Stop engaging them and asking for their permission for anything, and do us.
Veronica, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is there's still a large number of sisters who go in there without a list of demands, participate in some shit, and nothing comes back to their community. So I'm saying, in a hypothetical way, what would that list look like if you were to go in there mindful of, hey, you guys still can go back to white privilege. What do we go back to after this march is over?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It doesn't really compute. 'Cause I'm not trying to ask why.
Because I don't. Yeah.
I get it.
I don't even view that as a viable thing that matters. Let me just give me a minute. I'll
Yeah, you need to think about it.
I mean, for me,
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, for me, like I said, I'm kind of like I'm a VC, advocate. I'm kind of like on the VC train when it comes to asking almost anybody for permission to do anything. I'm kind of that little brat. Maybe it's because I'm half white. I don't know what it is, but I don't really feel the need to have to ask anybody for anything. I'm like, cool, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. But as far as like helping bring things back to the community, because I do believe that we really should band together, like the Jews, like the white people, like what everybody else.
All the other people of the world.
Everybody else except black people. I think one thing that I would demand, if I were in that position of power, would be bring back like education. Like I need like straight up money. I need some money for my community. That's what I probably would do. But I would also need the leaders who are in charge of the spending of that money. They need to understand my struggle. So I'm going to need some black leaders in the position of power to delegate where, the money and this, that, and whatnot would go for the education.
Because I'm saying, if you're going to be a part of an organization that's multicultural, but yet still suffers from white privilege and racism, you already know the white woman is at the top of that pecking order, right? I told you, nobody's got a better nobody has a better PR person than the white woman and Jesus.
Yeah.
Them two, they got the best
the
PR
same
people. Right.
too.
They got, you know what I'm saying? Let a white woman go missing in Pasadena tonight. Let a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman go missing in Pasadena tonight. The fucking world's gonna know about it tomorrow. Some foul play was here. There was a fucking heel. All we saw was her heel. But we know it belongs to this girl here, Becky. They're gonna, hey. So my point is, sisters, if you're gonna engage in an organization that has an infrastructure that has white supremacy or white privilege or white guilt or all this other bullshit, you gotta go. If you're gonna interface with them, you gotta be like, we gotta have these real conversations. If I'm gonna participate in what you're trying to do, if I'm gonna help you reach whatever goal you're trying to reach, we got a list of demands and shit.
Yeah.
We need better schools. We know you have. We know you got funds. We know you got access to funds.
Yeah.
We need you to reroute some of the resources through these channels.
And
That's all.
And I feel like too. I mean, I didn't get to participate in the march. Honestly, I found out way too late about it. I'm like, well, damn, can I get on the women's newsletter or whatever it is that went out the bat signal?
They blamed y'all.
They blamed us.
Sisters. They said women of color almost derailed the march.
Yeah, they did.
So if that's the fucking case, Veronica,
They did.
I need you as the female voice of reason in this motherfucker, along with my girl Whitney, to come up with a goddamn list of demands.
All right. So the first demand is to lock your asses up in a room with Tim Wise.
Okay, here we go.
For 30 days so that you can take off your white privilege goggles and see the world as the reality.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because part of it is this, that because people they pretend or have, some pretend, some have amnesia about their parasitical nature on the rest of the world. Right? They either they pretend that they don't know, and the ones that really don't know, that have forgotten, that have amnesia about all this, are being exploited by the ones who know, who have an agenda to forward white supremacy. Right? So they're being played. They're being played out of there, and right. So get awake, get woke. And don't just borrow the term without actually doing the awakening.
And what's the name of that white lady? What's the name of that old white lady that do the racism talk? that be
That's
killing
what,
the white girl?
Miss Lips was saying. Yeah. Her too.
Jane Elliott. I think that's her name, Jane Elliott.
Tim Weiss and Jane Elliott sit in the room for 30 days and deconstruct your privilege.
Ooh, that was good.
Because then you'll know how to do something meaningful.
And you'll really like. That's one thing is like I feel like a lot of women and feminists are only doing it because they just want to be cool. They want to be in with the liberal movement because it's like, oh, so Obama's cool. Like I want to like totally be with this move. But realistically, like what you said, Veronica, I have conversations with my white friends and I'm like, listen, you really don't get it, because we'll have a conversation and you'll get some of the parts. the parts that pertain to your black boyfriend, you'll get those parts. But when I say something else, you get all offended and, but why do you guys say that? Like, I mean, I'm not the one who like enslaved your people. Like, shut the hell. It wasn't me. It's not me. Like, it's that whole, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. They get so defensive, and I'm just like, listen, it isn't about the color of your skin, and I think this is why, just admit that this shit is fucked up and just figure it out. Like, let's come up with a solution as human beings, as women, because that's what we're really supposed to be as a group of women, not different colors of women. Let's all come together for a better common cause. So,
today was a wonderful topic. I love the fact that Whitney made it through the traffic and got here and added her fire. Veronica was on Liddy all show long. But let me just say, we're not afraid to have an unapologetic conversation. Have the fucking conversation. Have the discussion. We're not all right. We're not all wrong. There's some bullshit in what we got to say, but there's also some truth in it. It's about having the conversation. It's about saying, let's sit down without judgment. Let's be objective and have a real conversation that plagues us in America. Racism is everywhere. It's like fucking bed bugs, nigga. It's everywhere. And until we uproot it, it's always going to be an issue. It's going to manifest itself in every ideological thought form. So if you guys want to heal, let's have a real conversation. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. And that's the final thought for today's show. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Whitney, where can they find you?
Hey guys, you can find me on social media at Miss Tabor. That's MSTABER. Also tune into my music show right here on Hot Button Dash Radio, The Plug Radio. It's where you can tune in and chat with me about music and new artists that you may have not tuned in. And if you are an artist in the LA area and you want to be a part of my show, which is Saturday, again, Hot Button Dash Radio, go to my website, www.theplugradio.com, and submit your music, and hopefully I can get you in and talk to me.
VC, where can they find you?
You can email me at veronica@veronicaconway.com. You can check out my business boot camp at tinyurl.com/90dayblitz, BLITZ. And you can check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Veronica Conway.
All right, there it is. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. You can find me at IamZoeWilliams.com. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube page. That is The Zoe What Show. No spaces on YouTube. Subscribe. Download my app, Zoe Williams, no spaces. Google Play, iTunes, everywhere. Get that app so you can follow all the movements. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'll see you guys Friday on The Voice of Reason. Hot Button.